So here's the deal, everyone. So if you're a buyer and you're out looking for a home and you're getting really frustrated and ticked off because you can't find a home, maybe you've put in multiple offers on different houses and you just can't come up on the winning side. Well, are you aware of what a private listing is? You should. You should know what a private listing is and know why you may not be seeing these listings. And these are homes that are actually on the market, but you're not seeing them. Stay tuned. I'm going to explain to you exactly what these are. Hey everyone, Brandon Schuppe with Skydan Real Estate Sales. How we all doing? So yes, private listing. What is it? There are a lot of buyers that are out there right now that have no clue what a private listing is. And the sad thing is there's a lot of real estate brokers that really don't know the private listing sector and how to even get these listings. And it's sad. Buyers are fighting over these houses right now. And to come to find out that there is this secret tucked away group of listings that are not accessible to the general public. And then you've got brokers who are either missing out on sending you these listings or they're just not obtainable because some of the real estate brokers out there don't necessarily know about private listings either. So before I explain to you exactly what a private listing is, I need to take you back in a little bit of history just to explain. About 30 years ago, if the market was really hot and if a real estate broker would get a listing, they would take that listing and keep it to themselves. Because the fact that the market was so hot, if they ran into a buyer that was looking for that specific criteria, in many cases, these brokers could sell the listing themselves. And then this way, they don't have to share the commission and they can keep the entire commission. These were called pocket listings. Some of you may have heard these. And as the years went on, these pocket listings obviously were discouraged. And at some point, the multiple listing service would not allow real estate brokers to have a pocket listing. If you had a listing agreement and your office was a member of the multiple listing service, you had to input this listing to the multiple listing so that it could be accessible to the general public. And then what would happen is because all these real estate brokerages all cooperated with each other, we all had access to each other's listings. So if I had a specific buyer that was looking for a 3-bedroom bungalow in Berwyn or a 2-bedroom ranch in Homer Glen, I could go right into the multiple listing service and I could search this criteria and I could find these listings. And because we cooperated with each other, I was able to show that listing. And then if I introduced the buyer and wrote a contract and got it accepted, I would get a portion of that commission that listing broker took when they listed the property. Well, as the years have gone on, that concept is still the same. The problem is now that this real estate market has gotten so hot right now, we're trying to figure out a way where these real estate brokers can double bubble these listings. And understand something, this is my opinion, okay? And again, I've been doing this for over 30 years. So now what's happened is, and I am absolutely 100% against this, okay? At some point in time, if someone was ready to put their home on the market, but yet they still maybe had a room to paint, or maybe they had to finish doing some type of remodeling, I would always tell the seller, listen, finish getting that ready or finish getting that last room painted. And once you get that room painted, give me a call. I'll come back and we'll sit back down. We'll get a listing agreement signed up and we'll get the marketing going. Well, what has happened now, this private listing sector that the MLS is now allowing, which I am absolutely against, here's how it goes. A real estate broker can actually list a property, and then they can input that listing into the multiple listing. And instead of putting it in as a general listing, And a general listing then goes out to Zillow, Realtor.com. It goes on various websites. So in other words, that listing is accessible to the general public. So now if you as a buyer happen to see this listing on Zillow or some other website, you could call the broker up and say, hey, we just saw this listing went on the market at 123 Main Street. Can you get us some information on it? We'd like to maybe go see the property. But here's the catch with these private listings. They input it into the multiple listing service under the private listing sector. And guess what? Those listings do not get advertised out to the general public on Zillow and Realtor.com, etc. These listings are basically, in a sense, tucked away. My problem is that this was originally set up so that if a seller was getting ready to put their home on the market, but they weren't quite ready because maybe they had to paint a room, or maybe they had to finish refinishing or remodeling the hardwood floors in the dining room, something was causing them to be ready to go on the market, but they're not quite ready yet. Well, first of all, in my eyes, that means that home is not ready to go on the market yet then. But what's happening is brokers have now used this strategy to be able to put a sign in front of the house, tuck it away into a private listing sector, and then sit an open house on the weekend. And because it's not accessible to the general public, that means there's less buyers out there that are actually seeing this home. So when you're a buyer and you think you're seeing all these homes that are on the market, you're not, because there's quite a few of these private listings that are in the multiple listings service where you have a ready, willing, and able seller ready to sell this property, but because it's being strategized and put into the private listing sector, you're not able to see that listing in the general public on these websites. And this is the part that I absolutely disagree. I see some of these properties going on the market. I see them going as a private listing on a Friday, and then Saturday I drive past the house, and here's the broker sitting here doing an open house on this property, and they're trying to capture the buyer themselves and be able to collect the entire commission on both sides. Again, this is my opinion. This is a strategy that brokers are using. And then when I find out later on that this home is ready to go on the market, there was no room that needed to be painted, there's no floor that needed to be sanded or finished. This home was ready and able to go on the market, and they were looking for potential buyers. My problem with this is when they do this, because we have a fiduciary duty to the sellers on these homes, that we need to get this home out there to the world, to let the world know that their home is on the market, because then what happens is we have more activity. More activity and eyeballs mean we're going to get more showings on this home, and more showings on the home mean that there's going to be more offers on this property. But the part that I don't like is the fact that these are being tucked away, and when buyers are out there and they assume that they have seen all the homes that are currently on the market, the likelihood is that you have not. Because the other part of this is that many real estate brokers are not aware of these private listings or how to search them and get them to you. Some of these listings, these private listings, they can be allowed to be shared with our customer, with our client, but yet we can't show the property. This is the part that I just absolutely disagree with. So if you are a buyer and you're out there, make sure that your broker, real estate agent that you're working with is checking the private listing network to make sure that you're getting all the listings that are on the market, because guess what? You're missing out if you're not seeing these private listings. Listen, this is information that I thought that you would be interested in, and this got me a little bit more outraged than I normally am on my videos, but I'm absolutely against this private listing sector. And if there is anything that I could do to help you, as always, at the end of this video, all my contact information will be available for you. And in the meantime, as always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. And if you can take some time and maybe subscribe and get some more videos as they come up for me, I would greatly appreciate it. But in the meantime, and as always, make it a great day.